Thanks for joining us here on the CBN News Channel. I'm Ephraim Graham.
And I'm Charlene Israel. From Florida to the Midwest to Central Europe, heavy rains and major flooding are causing havoc for millions of people. This as the year's first tropical storm makes landfall in Florida. George Thomas has the latest.
Sandbags are a must with this kind of stuff.
Residents along Florida's west coast from Tallahassee down to Fort Myers are prepared.
The house that we're living in is very close to the river, so we're really worried that it's going to flood.
By late Thursday into Friday, Tropical Storm Andrea is expected to bring 45-mile-per-hour winds to the coastlines of Georgia and the Carolinas. Forecasters say the big story with this storm system will be flooding rains. That's the same problem across the Midwest. A 100-foot break in a levee where the Mississippi and Missouri rivers join caused major flooding in several towns.
It's amazing.
It's just a thing that happens, and
but you can't stop the river.
Can't stop it.
People living in the area frantically tried to shore it up with sandbags, but the water kept pouring over. 2 other levees were also breached.
I have a whole new respect for people that live near floodplains or anything like that, levees and stuff. It's totally different feeling than I've ever had.
The result, numerous homes and businesses underwater.
We've got each other and, life goes on. I mean, this is part of living on the river.
Heavy rain last week caused a sudden rise in the Mississippi, the Missouri, the Illinois, and several small rivers. The rivers are on the way down at many locations. Overseas in Passau, Germany, the cleanup is underway after heavy rains caused major flooding there.
My existence is destroyed. From one day to another, destroyed.
Passau was one of the worst hit as swollen rivers pushed the water to levels not seen in these parts in more than 5 centuries. The toll of the devastation is only beginning to set in.
We do not have insurance. There is no possibility for insurance. You cannot insure a home in a flood area.
In Dresden, Germany, residents are keeping a very close eye on the River Elbe, hoping it won't breach its flood defenses. The Danube, another of Europe's great rivers, has caused major flooding in southern Germany. At least 16 people have died and several are still missing. Floods also deluged parts of Austria and Switzerland. In the Czech Republic, firemen in one town went door to door evacuating residents as floodwaters there continue to rise.
At the moment, we have about 8 feet of water inside the house. Maybe the water will reach the first floor. It's a pity for all those who have the same problem.
The good news is residents in Central Europe can look forward to drier conditions in the coming days. George Thomas, CBN News.
President Obama announced controversial UN Ambassador Susan Rice to be his new national security advisor. The president originally planned to nominate Rice for Secretary of State, but anger over her mishandling of the consulate attack in Benghazi forced her out of the running. The role of national security advisor does not require Senate confirmation. The president also announced former White House advisor Samantha Power as Rice's replacement at the UN. Power has been an outspoken critic of Israel, and some accuse her of anti-Semitism. And she says gay rights are central to America's global human rights agenda.
Republicans in the House Judiciary Subcommittee voted to expand a D.C. abortion bill to apply to the entire country. They advanced the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act to the full committee. The bill would ban abortions after 20 weeks of pregnancy in the U.S. in all cases except when the mother's life is in danger. All 4 Democrats on the panel voted against it, saying the bill is unconstitutional. The 1973 Supreme Court decision Roe v. Wade says a woman can have an abortion until around the 24th week of pregnancy.
Girls of any age can now buy emergency contraception pills without a prescription. The order was issued by the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Manhattan. The ruling allows a generic 2-pill version of emergency contraception to be sold over the counter and without any age restrictions. The Center for Reproductive Rights applauds the move, saying, quote, it will be like buying Tylenol. But opponents argue parents and medical professionals should be involved in major medical decisions involving young girls.
The scandal around the IRS and conservative political groups keeps getting bigger. As multiple congressional investigations start kicking in, we're starting to find out what the tax agency was really up to. Lawmakers want to know why the IRS was asking ordinary citizens everything from what they were reading to what they were praying about. Jennifer Wishon has the story from Washington.
Adam Brandon says he knew something was going on when he started getting calls from groups seeking tax-exempt status, asking him if it's normal for the IRS to inquire about what books they're reading. What the vice president of Freedom Works didn't know was the magnitude of the scandal.
When a government decides to start targeting its own citizens for no other reason than their political affiliation, we all have a right to be very, very scared.
Reading materials, names of donors, social media posts. That's the type of information the IRS wanted. Some groups were even asked to give information about their prayers.
Specifically asked from the IRS to the Coalition for Life of Iowa, quote, please detail the content of the members of your organization's prayers. Would that be an appropriate question to a 501c3 applicant? The content of one's prayers.
It pains me to say I can't speak to that one either, but that's an...
You don't know whether or not that would be an appropriate question to ask an applicant?
Speaking outside of this case, which I don't know anything about, it would surprise me that that question was asked.
Asking about the contents of prayers is something Lois Lerner is familiar with. Before taking over the IRS's Exempt Organizations Division, Lerner led the Enforcement Office for the Federal Elections Commission. During her tenure, the FEC led a major controversial investigation of the Christian Coalition. Testimony reveals the FEC asked Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North whether or not he was aware Pat Robertson was praying for him. The Christian Coalition was cleared of any wrongdoing, and Lerner eventually got her job at the IRS. Now she's been put on leave with pay as the scandal is being investigated. Brandon says fear of being targeted by the IRS is making some conservatives who might get involved in politics ask themselves if it's worth it.
If I stay active in my church, if I stay active in my Tea Party group, am I going to be targeted? Am I going to be singled out? It's very intimidating when the government is able to use the power of taxation to potentially target its adversaries.
I've got no patience with it. I will not tolerate it.
The White House is taking heat for its shifting story of who knew what when. The executive branch appeared to be taken off guard by the scandal, even though the IRS falls under the purview of Mr. Obama's Treasury Secretary. Now the big question is, who's responsible? Who ordered the IRS to target Tea Party and conservative groups? Critics find it hard to believe a problem this big is contained to one IRS office in Cincinnati.
I would kind of sleep better at night if this was directed by someone in the White House or some agency. But I'm actually very fearful that this is just bureaucrats gone crazy. I think we're just starting to get into where this originated, who knew what, when, and I believe, like Watergate, this is probably going to be a scandal. It's going to continue to drip, and we're going to learn more as time goes on.
Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Washington.
Listen up. The government is secretly collecting the phone records of millions of Americans who use Verizon service. The Secret Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court granted an order to the National Security Agency on April 25th, and Britain's Guardian newspaper has obtained a copy of it. The order requires Verizon to give the NSA daily information on all calls in the U.S. and between the U.S. and other countries. The Guardian reports the Obama administration is collecting communication records of millions of U.S. citizens, regardless of whether they're suspected of doing wrong. That order is good until July 19th.
The search engine Yahoo announced it will now perform automated scanning and content analysis of all emails sent through Yahoo Mail. Users must agree to the new policy or close their accounts. Privacy expert Catherine Albrecht tells CBN News this move has far-reaching implications.
The idea that they would be opening up the emails that we've simply entrusted them to deliver, actually reading them, this means that they could get access to information that you send to your doctor, your medical records, legal accounts. It could be your accounting, your tax returns. There's a whole lot of personal information that people share through email, and now all of that information is going to be in Yahoo's hands.
Albrecht is also sounding the alarm over a new digital tattoo used to verify your identity. It's being introduced by Google and Motorola. You can hear her concerns about how it relates to biblical prophecy at cbnnews.com.
A House committee voted to bar restrictions from being placed on military chaplains' prayers. The House Armed Services Committee decided to continue letting chaplains pray in the name of Jesus or their faith's deity at general events. One Democrat argued that such prayers would make troops who don't share the same beliefs feel excluded. But critics say there is no reason to have a chaplain if their religious rights are restricted. The full House is expected to vote next week.
A South Carolina valedictorian disregarded a new ruling that prayer would be cut from his school district's graduation ceremonies. According to a report by Christian News, Roy Costner IV ripped up his pre-approved speech and instead spoke on his Christian upbringing. He then delivered the Lord's Prayer to a crowd cheering in support.
And I think most of you will understand when I say, "Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come." As we forgive those who trespass against us, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
The Pickens County School District says no disciplinary action will be taken. A spokesman says they won't punish a student for expressing his religious faith.
Coming up, turmoil spreading across Europe, how radical Islam is wreaking havoc in Great Britain and beyond.
Today we're on a field trip to discover what inflation is doing to our paper money. In this hand is a $20 bill, and in this hand is a $20 U.S. gold coin. They used to have the same buying power, but how much can they buy today? In this first basket is what my $20 bill buys: milk, bread, peanut butter, and jelly. And here's what one $20 gold coin will buy: 6 baskets full, worth nearly $2,000, almost 100 times more food, simply by owning gold dollars instead of paper dollars. History shows that the gold coins have been the best way to beat the rising cost of living. So class, the moral is that unless you want to live on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the future, you should turn some paper dollars into gold coins now. How and why is explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. Call the number below for a totally free copy. And that's the simple truth.
Help! If an emergency happened right now, you can have help at the push of a button with Medical Alert.
Remember when I took that fall, Mary?
Oh, yes, that was terrible.
Yes, it was.
Help!
And I thought, what if you hadn't been there? I ordered my Medical Alert the next day.
I can't describe how safe I feel now with my Medical Alert. You didn't know I was wearing it, did you?
Medical Alert is easy to install, waterproof, and covers you inside your home and out.
It helps me feel safe from fires, break-ins.
And of course, a Medical Alert. And if you don't have a home phone, don't worry. They have that covered.
There's always help at the push of a button. Don't wait till you need it.
Get Medical Alert for less than $1 a day. There are no long-term contracts. Order now and get your second button free. Call for your free brochure.
For your free Medical Alert system with second button free, call 800-575-8507.
From CBN.
Broken Eardrum is playing at the Civic tonight.
And you'll just have to miss it.
This is so incredibly unfair.
A special story of love and sacrifice.
Joy, Mom comes up with something.
Christopher Quantum, you and I are going to discuss your attitude right this minute. Superbook.
No.
Join the Superbook DVD Club and get Superbook's newest episode, He is Risen. Plus 2 copies to share with others. All for your gift of $25.
They have arrested Jesus, the Messiah. Do you not know that I have the power to crucify you?
No! Please! You can't! They've taken him to Golgotha. We must hurry. Mary is about to lose her son. The worst thing any mother could face. I am not leaving her.
Superbook. It's an amazing way to build a strong spiritual foundation in the children you love.
Mary, who are you looking for?
I've seen him! He is alive!
Superbook. He is Risen. Available now.
A big victory for churches in the Czech Republic. The country's highest court upheld a government plan to pay billions of dollars to religious groups. The money is compensation for property the former communist regime seized from the groups. The churches have been fighting this battle since the 1989 fall of communism. Under the plan, 16 religious groups, including Catholics, Protestants, and Jews, will get $3 billion over the next 30 years. They will also get 56% of their property, now held by the state.
Well, you aren't hearing about it from other news media, but for years, CBN News has been reporting that Europe is facing more and more social, religious, and financial problems. And the root of it all is political correctness. Dale Hurt brings us this analysis that you won't see anywhere else.
On May 21st, French historian Dominique Venner shocked France when he walked into Notre Dame Cathedral, put a letter on the altar, and shot himself in the head. It was a protest against Islamization and France's new gay marriage law. He said in his suicide note he hoped his death would wake up the nation. Europe is being forced to awaken because parts of Europe are literally on fire. In Sweden a few weeks ago, predominantly Muslim immigrants set fires for several nights. In Britain, a soldier was butchered on a London street by a Muslim. In France, a recent convert to Islam tried to do the same thing to a French soldier, but only wounded him. Amidst failing economies, Europe is continuing to fracture into ethnic tribes that hate one another.
Even German Chancellor Angela Merkel has admitted that multiculturalism has failed. It's led to immigrant ghettos inside European cities that are breeding grounds for radicalism and hostility to mainstream society.
In Paris, we asked Guy Millière, author of the new book, Radical Islam is a Weapon of Mass Destruction, why the European establishment continues to allow and encourage Islam to spread while suppressing Christianity.
The connection between radical Muslims and leftists in Europe is that both are totalitarian, and they see something in common between them and radical Muslims.
A lot of European leaders still seem to fear political correctness more than Islamic terrorism. British Prime Minister David Cameron said, "There is nothing in Islam that justified the beheading of British soldier Lee Rigby by a Muslim," ignoring the many verses in the Quran that command Muslims to behead unbelievers. Cameron instead called the murder a betrayal of Islam. It took the Somali terrorist group Al-Shabaab to correct Cameron in a series of tweets, saying that the gruesome killing wasn't a betrayal of Islam, but a portrayal of Islam. The Rigby murder caused rioting and attacks on mosques across Britain.
Enough's enough. Our message is enough. We have weak leaders, weak police. Our police and our leaders tiptoe around this issue. This issue is political Islam. It's political Islam that's spreading across this country.
Across the channel in France, opponents of the new gay marriage and adoption law now talk openly of revolution. One group even calling itself the French Spring. They view the new law as a tool of the left to tear down French tradition, and it seems to have galvanized hatred for the leftist government of Francois Hollande.
I think that the main aim of the French government is to destroy traditional families. They speak about rights, they speak about equality, but it's not a question of rights, it's not a question of equality, it's a question of destruction of the family.
In Eastern Europe, fascism is on the march. Hungary's Jobbik is the third largest party in parliament. Its leader says only a show of strength is effective against the unscrupulous Zionist advance. And Jobbik wants a national registry drawn up listing all the Jews in Hungary. Similar movements are active in Greece, Poland, and Slovakia. Meanwhile, the European Union continues to fail economically. And a recent poll shows that for the first time, most EU citizens don't like the idea of the European Union.
Europeans' faith in and belief in the European project, the fact that economic integration should be good for them. Well, they don't believe that anymore.
In Rome, an Italian taxi driver says Europe should be written off, not Italy. It's Europe that's not working. In Spain, homeless families are squatting in unsold apartment buildings. In Greece, former members of the middle class find themselves sleeping outdoors. It's no longer just Europe's ghettos that are breeding grounds for radicalism. Today, trouble is brewing all across Europe. Dale Hurt, CBN News.
Up next, making your mark on Israel, how you can stand with Israel in a new, unique way.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Welcome back to the CBN News Channel. Many Christians around the world may never have an opportunity to visit the Holy Land.
But now a new project could enable them to have a presence there overlooking the biblical Sea of Galilee. CBN Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell explains.
For decades, Paul Wilbur has been known around the world for his messianic music and worship concerts. Now he's joining Israeli entrepreneurs in a business venture to give Christians a chance to be part of Israel, even if they can't afford to visit.
And I'm part of a new startup business here in Israel called Face to Zion, which is a web-based ministry, really, of uniting Christian Zionist believers from around the world by the web.
On the Face to Zion website, participants become part of an Israel Lovers Mosaic by choosing to belong to one of the 12 biblical tribes. They upload their pictures and send a message to the site for free. Part of the planned project would enable Christians to have a presence here by paying a small fee and having their pictures burned into a glass panel using Israeli technology. Partners say the pictures would become part of a future 12-tribe mosaic monument near the Sea of Galilee.
We love Israel. We were born here. It's nature. It's natural. But to see so many people who were born in South America, in the United States, in Netherlands, and they love so much and they upload pictures to our mosaic.
Wilbur met with his Israeli partners in Tel Aviv recently. He says wherever he goes, Christians want to visit Israel and ask how they can help the Jewish state. He believes Face to Zion will enable them to have a united voice for Israel.
When you become a voice, a large voice, now you can speak to nations. I mean, this can become almost a movement, you know, of lovers of Zion from all over the world. And Face to Zion can speak to the government of Belgium or of France, make a statement to the White House.
I'm traveling all around the world. I heard a lot of nasty things about Israel. There are so many, huge amount of population all around the world that loves Israel. Why not to make them in one place that can be the voice, that be a shofar for Israel?
According to Wilbur, that will help to counter the bad press Israel gets and enable Christian Zionists to speak out for Israel. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Tel Aviv.
wonderful idea. I'd love to do that.
I would love to do that as well.
Definitely.
That is a fabulous idea.
Yeah.
Faces design. Beautiful.
I love it.
Indeed.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When you're driving along and your cell phone rings, do your eyes instantly go off the road? Then you need to get a grip. Hi, David Jones here with the new GripGo, the most versatile hands-free mount that will instantly grip any phone for safe driving. Just attach the suction cup to your windshield or dash, and GripGo grabs your phone ultra fast. Then it peels right off. And don't worry, there's no sticky residue left behind. The 360-degree pivoting mount allows you to always get the perfect viewing angle. It's even strong enough to grab and hold this expensive smartphone out the window. Yet it comes right off with ease. That's the advantage of GripGo. You can get the amazing GripGo with dashboard mount for only $14.95. We'll send you a second kit free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Get 2 complete GripGo systems for just $14.95.
To order GripGo for $14.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-709-5259 or order online at getgripgo.com.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Finally, a Michigan teen was not expected to graduate after suffering a life-threatening brain injury.
But this week, he surprised everyone by walking across the stage to accept his diploma. High school senior Bilal Hollings was shot in the head nearly 2 months ago. He was at a party when a fight broke out. The honor student and football star jumped in to break it up and then was hit with a bullet. Now he is proving that nothing will keep him back from the next chapter in his life.
First off, I want to thank God. It is so good to be alive. I got shot in the head and I am fully rehabilitated. I forgot a lot of stuff. I forgot how to walk. I forgot how to talk. I didn't forget how to eat.
He also didn't forget the love of Jesus. At the end of the ceremony, instead of throwing his graduation cap, Hollings threw his helmet, his own version of a victory lap. God bless him.
Didn't forget how to eat.
No,
God bless him. I love his sense of humor.
Indeed.
Not a dry eye in the audience there.
You can imagine.
Well, that's going to do it for the CBN News Channel. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com.
And tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Have a great day.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary. Or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.